If you happen to notice a woman, whether it be in high school, college, or God forbid, in the workplace, just so happen to start showing interest in you out of the blues after you tried to converse with her multiple times, check your calendar, as she is just in one of the seasons of desperation.
Hey, when will women stop being lonely for the holidays?
When will women stop making every day in the year about them?
You have a point. Guess that's why I still got my man.
Glad you've realized it. Let's keep it that way, shall we?
Cheers to that.
Greetings everyone. Dwayne here. Welcome to Male Conversations Unlocked, the classroom for men, where common sense is not something you were born with but what you were taught. It is often said that it's the most wonderful time of year, with the kids jingle belling and everyone telling you we have good cheer. Such famous words that have entered millions of people's hearts. However, unfortunately it's not what you would think for a lot of women, as it's definitely the most loneliest time of the year. Here to shed some light on the matter is another famous star who's known for stealing Christmas. Welcome, the Grinch.
Thank you for having me. Nice place you got here. Really comfortable.
It's a pleasure. Glad you like it. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am considered to be an unpleasant to hating grouch with a wicked temper, sore attitude, depressed judgment, and a heart about 2 sizes too small, and is always out to ruin something. Eventually, had to learn a valuable lesson.
That was quite a description. Very well decorated, I suppose. So tell us, why do you believe that it's the most loneliest time of the year for most women?
Gladly. This is what I would call Christmas entitlement. This is when most women, after going through what Meg the Stallion refers to as Hot Girl Summer, said it best. Hot Girl Summer is about just being you, just having fun. It's turning up, driving the boat, and not giving a damn about what nobody's saying. A summer where you are in charge of your own happiness. Chase the bag and we ain't crying over no man, period. And funny enough, after this phase, this is where they want to be pampered, to get the man's bag due to the fact that they're broke, and wanting a man to spend the winter with, or even knowing that they have won towards the end of the year. But they did nothing to deserve that, so life offered them a Scrooge Christmas instead without the happy ending.
So in other words, they're saying they want an excuse where girls take over and express their inner Rahab, in which they no longer care for the male gender and are no longer living by the natural order of things, trying to defy the laws of objectivity.
You said it, not me. We already knew the answer to that.
So isn't Christmas a time for giving, family, and spending time with each other?
Yes, that's one aspect of it. However, when it comes to entering relationships or early dating, not so much.
Really? Why is that?
Subliminally, on the other side of the spectrum, one might overlook that, like most holidays or special days, believe it or not, is centered around women getting men to waste unnecessary finances to stoke their ego before returning to being womanist. So just like Valentine's Day, Christmas becomes a time of taking, flaking, and the man getting nothing but a goodbye after the date ends.
I've always wondered why most men tend to go broke during this period, wasting money on a Christmas Day girlfriend, only to be tolerated until New Year's Eve for their actual New Year's resolution, which is a new man she will never get except in her fantasy.
That's normally the case, but it gets even more interesting. According to recent data collected by digital statisticians, the day most breakups occur within the entire calendar year is December 11, which, we hate to break it to you, is just around the corner. To conclude their findings, researchers analyzed Facebook data, looking at thousands of messages for signs of relationship turbulence and breakups. From that collected, they were able to determine most breakups occurred 2 weeks before Christmas, on December 11. Those who made it to the big day, however, were in the clear. The least number of breakups in the entire year happened on Christmas Day.
Really? That sounds terrible.
It's true. As a result of this evaluation, December 11th turns out to be the biggest breakup day of the year, and it even exceeds breakups before and after Valentine's Day. We can see this trend in the media.
So why do women do this?
It's all about the image and the need to constantly display the relationship business to the world to see if they can keep up with the Kardashians, or what is portrayed in movies. You see, Women are always assessing their relationship with a man. It is man's nature to get comfortable with a woman. Most guys find one girl and stick with her as long as they can. And yet women find too much comfort and sameness extremely uncomfortable. A woman wants to feel different emotions continually. She always strives for more than what she already is. She also assesses how strong and worthy her relationship with her current man is, comparing him to what's on the market. Right before the Christmas holiday, this assessment peaks, and rightfully so, because around December, women have huge social commitments. They're expected to show up to events with their paramour and look like a happy, healthy couple.
So in other words, they want the gift of instability. And since stability is often perceived as something that is less likely to be overturned or is firmly fixed or grounded, this causes the woman to separate the stable man from his stable bank account, choosing the latter. But it doesn't work like that, especially these days when most men are no longer falling for such tactics because they just want some in-betweens.
You're catching on rather quickly.
Thank you. I'm learning after all. So what are some of the other reasons why breakups occur during this period?
Research tells us that December is considered a very high urgency month. Money is often tight as we try to gather our finances to purchase required presents. We spend time with extended family, need to travel usually to ensure we include all family members. Anxiety is heightened and time is stretched. We are also planning our future year ahead, our goals, our desires and wants. We consider how we will achieve these goals and what we may need to do or change to achieve this goal.
That does tend to put a lot of strain on a man's mind indeed.
The other reason some partners choose to leave prior to Christmas can be the desire not to purchase an expensive gift for the person they no longer want or love. Also, for some, they don't want to put on the facade of pretending to be happy in front of family members. Sometimes they can't live the charade any longer.
So to simply put, men during these kinds of holidays are now becoming relationship Santa Clauses and making a list and checking it twice.
Exactly. And if during the year they suspect that you're undeserving of your request, then the naughty list has your name on it. And it's not a romance reward for your watered-down twerking, but a visit from Krampus leaving a dirty lump of charcoal from the fireplace, or a bundle of birch twigs called a row, implying you were due for a birching.
Yikes, so should men automatically become anti-holidays?
No, men aren't really anti-holiday. They're just becoming anti-stupid, meaning that they're choosing and becoming more aware of the intentions behind the actions of most women at certain times of the year, dismissing the notion that most women believe that every year they should get a diamond, in which he is yet to see that her New Year wish is to leave him with the feeling of a dying man, or telling the man through the use of commercial that every kiss begin with K, but fail to reveal that this is the holiday season trial run and once expired. Please purchase my services on February 14th. You guessed, Valentine's Day.
So what normally happens after the December breakups?
As you can imagine, since many people break up on this day, many people are suddenly out in the marketplace. Girls are always looking for fast rebounds after breaking up with a long-term guy. By the time a girl initiates a breakup, she's mentally moved on from that guy, but often for a man, the breakup comes as a shock at first, and rarely are they mentally prepared. Women new in the market are looking for a guy, fast, the day after the breakup. She has or is mentally trying to move on by replacing a man immediately. So, January and February are great for dating, and you'll see a lot of action if you keep approaching in the middle of winter. Christmas Day is the highest online dating sign-up day of the year. January and February are ripe for dating despite being in the middle of winter and Valentine's Day approaching. You'll find that some women might have more of an agenda because of Valentine's Day and want to rebound. Yet once February 14th passes, this changes as more women are available on the market. It turns out that the months between March and June are the best dating months of the year, followed by September through Thanksgiving being second best. This latter period is commonly known as cuffing season for good reason.
The thing with this kind of entitlement from women in the holidays is that they fail to recognize that not all situations are unfair. If you're in a situation you think is unfair, pause for a minute and think about the greater good. Is it right that because you're paying tuition you must get a good grade? Consider how the world would look if no one else had to work for their grades. So you think because you have a booty you should get the most expensive jewelry. They're also unable to learn from your mistakes. Treat failure as a learning tool. Failing isn't the end of the world. Mistakes that were made can be corrected next time. Never stop learning and look for value in failure. The problem is that many women take too long to learn from them, so the situation becomes abdominous.
You see, it is hard to change a woman's delusion, being that they have been hypnotized into thinking that because you're a woman, everything should be a gravitational pull. And research indicates that it is particularly difficult to make someone feel or act less entitled. But we can do things to avoid reinforcing women's sense of entitlement. For example, when entitled people make unwarranted demands, it might be better not to give in, because doing so may make them even more certain that their entitlement is justified. And when saying no to entitled women, it may help to explain why your refusal is fair, because perceptions of unfairness are linked to even more entitled behavior in the future. Of course, entitled women are unlikely to think something that doesn't benefit them is fair, but it doesn't hurt to try.
I felt that one. Do you have any last words?
If you happen to notice a woman, whether it be in high school, college, or God forbid, in the workplace, just so happen to start showing interest in you out of the blues after you tried to converse with her multiple times, check your calendar, as she is just in one of the seasons of desperation. Beware of female co-workers during this time, as you might end up without a job in the new year if you happen to want intimate romance from her, believing that she wanted more, when in truth and in fact, most female co-workers tend to overspend during this period and are looking for a Christmas scholarship because they normally go broke. And since harassment in the workplace is a law made for women, she can use this to her advantage for the upcoming year against you, should you try to ask for anything in return, and boom, you're jobless.
Be careful of women with children that shows up in similar fashion around these periods, as they might want to use this method to get a Joseph for Christmas, and also to try to flux the baby father that has already moved on with a new wife. It's better to spend $5 with the lotion and the open palm technique than to lose thousands of dollars only to hear the words, "I don't see you like that."
Similarly, research by Australian dating app Red Hot Pie showed that 71% of women and 56% of men would rather break up with their partner if they're not that into them, than take them home to meet their family at Christmas. So guys, observe these periods and analyze the woman's intentions and not only their actions, and never be afraid to wait it out. So if you happen to be a man who finds himself single after December 11th, fear not. You're about to enter the best dating period of the year. It's just a matter of getting your skills back quickly to take advantage of the new opportunity. Tell us what you think. Have you ever encountered these situations? Class dismiss.